Sorry about that delay and everything that's going on. Trying to get some media together before we get on here live. But nevertheless, we're here. Chris Jenkins, credential member of the media, covering Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe. And excuse me for holding my ear. I got in the earpiece that I'm trying out so that you guys don't hear echo. But today, we're here to talk about Carolina Panthers and whatever questions that you all may have. So please be sure to join us. We're going to put the link out there in just a second. I want as many people as possible to join the show tonight. Let me know your questions. Let me know your comments. Vent to us, whatever you wish to do. And we're going to get started here in just one
Each and every week
second.
I interview players one-on-one, and the cool thing about it is I always say I work for the fans. So I always take questions from you guys, ideas from you all, and I put that into my interviews with these players every week. And something very fun at the end of the interview is I do an activity like Office Olympics, just something really fun. And I don't always win, but that's not the point. Just so you guys can get the chance to see these players as people, not just as guys with helmets on running around on Sundays. It's really cool. So if I have your interest, please click subscribe to my YouTube channel and let me know what you think.
All right. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I have placed the link for those who want to join the show. So, interactive show, want everybody to join. So there's a link that I pinned into the comments that you definitely see on YouTube, and I'm also going to pin it for you guys. Hold on, if you want to join from Twitter or Facebook, give me just a second. And boom, I put that there. And let me see. Did I do it right? You didn't think I forgot about you, did you?
No.
So tonight, she's been dying to get back. I shouldn't say that. My wife hates that expression. She's been eager to get back onto the show, so we do have her tonight. Not sure how long we're going to be able to have her. I urge her to please get off, Lauren, as soon as you're feeling like you got to cough too much, you're getting too tired. But we will enjoy you for as long as you're here. So the lovely Lauren Reese. No. Yes,
Yeah, you got it.
Reese. I got it.
You
How
got
you
it.
doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Sorry,
Good.
everybody, for being late. I want to get some things together to share with you all. So I see Anthony has tried to join, and Anthony, your cam isn't working still. So I see that you're trying to come on, Anthony, but I don't see it. But meanwhile, let me go ahead and get started with the show because we're already late, and I don't have the luxury to go extra because I got family to get back to. Um, you know, yesterday, Coach Rhule talked to the media, and it's virtual, and I wasn't able to get my question in. So I promised you guys that I would go to get those questions in today. And there was two things that I wanted to ask him about. Uh-oh, I don't see my water. Two things that I wanted to ask him about. One was, you got your water, but you didn't give me any? Here we go. Let's do the virtual thing like they do in the videos, right? Here, hold it to your left, and I'll get it, right? Ready?
Oh,
We both did to the wrong side. One of those questions for Coach Matt Rhule was the play of Cam Newton, meaning he put Cam Newton in for one play, and it seemed kind of odd because they weren't in the red zone, they weren't in short down, they put him in there, and then they took him out, and he was not to be seen ever again in that game. So I did not get a chance to personally ask him this question. My man Joe Person beat me to the punch asking the first question of the day, but I am going to share the response with you from.
We had different plays we thought, especially down.
Well, don't start yet, Coach. But here's Coach's response to how he put Cam in, why he put Cam in, and what the plan was for Cam. So we're all going to take a listen here.
We had different plays we thought, especially down in the red zone that Cam was up for. That was a play. Really, we're half a block away from that being a touchdown. Luckily, we scored on the next play. I mean, so we just had some things to take advantage of, Cam's skill set. But as we said, kind of going in, we were going to play Sam and play Cam as needed, and we have a great feel for what Cam can do. We know he can impact the game. Had a chance to impact the game on that play, just unfortunately missed that block, or didn't quite hold the block, and only able to get 5 yards.
All right, so there's Coach's response to the decision making on putting Cam Newton in there for just the one play and never to be seeing him again. Lauren, Any thoughts on what Coach said today about not having Cam out there?
It doesn't make much sense to me, and I also don't understand the playing two quarterbacks. That just doesn't make much sense to me at all. So I think you need to stick with one, not just say, hey, I'm going to start Sam Darnold, and then I'm going to throw you in Cam, and then that's kind of like a slap in the face, like almost it's like, okay, you're going to throw me in for literally one play. Like, what can I do in one play?
Against you guys in the
Whoops,
second
sorry
half.
about that. Sorry about that. Sorry about. I didn't mean to make Coach talk over you. I was just trying to get my next video ready.
It's okay. That's really all I have to say about that.
Well, hey, he didn't really play two quarterbacks, right? I mean, one play.
Okay, what about the previous games though?
Well, we're just talking about yesterday.
Okay, but he technically did. If you go by how many quarterbacks played in yesterday's game, two. Even if it was one
Technically, you're right. Technically, you're right. So for me, it's just a further indication that they don't want to, at this point, they don't need to see Cam anymore. They don't need to leverage Cam anymore. And they're really just trying to get and evaluate everything that they can out of Sam. I'm assuming they're probably trying to get Sam a little confidence so that as they try to plan for next year, that they could have him with some of that. But again, this show is mostly about answering your questions, so I just want to quickly go through the things that I had today. The other one that I was eager to ask Coach Rhule about was the playing of the offense in the second half for me personally. And look for another video coming where I'm going to talk about this a little bit more extensively. But we had 0 points in the third quarter, 0 points in the fourth quarter, second time in a row that we've done it. And it's far worse than that. So for me, that points to coaching more than anything else, that you're not able to do something to have some productivity. To me, it means that you're being out-coached, because halftime comes. That's when people go in the locker rooms. Hey, what did you see? What did you see? What can we do? And you come out, and then we don't score any more points. And then they score points. So without further ado, let me go ahead and play the clip for Coach Matt Rhule answering my question. Uh-oh, wrong button? Not yet. Here we go.
You from putting up points. The second game in a row where you guys were blank.
Can you say that again, Chris? I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Yeah, what adjustments do you see teams making against you guys in the second half that's preventing you from putting up points? The second game in a row where you guys were blanked in that second half.
Yeah, I think people, as the game goes on, just get a little bit more aggressive. They pressure us, they blitz us. You know, I think we get a little bit, you know, unfortunately worn down. But you know, more importantly, I just think they you know, take away easy throws, play man to man, get aggressive and pressure us, and we haven't been able to quite burn them the way we'd like to. You know, we had some opportunities in that game. We got down there again in the fourth quarter. You know, we're kicking to take the lead, and just, you know, weren't able to make the kick. So you know, it's just kind of where it's at right now.
I like the ending to this response. That's just where we're at right now. That's just where we're at right now. In other words, it's a struggle, and he knows that they haven't fixed it, and it's just where we are right now. So I do give him some credit. I know a lot of people go to bash Matt Rhule. Maybe you do too, Lauren. If you do, feel free to go ahead and voice your opinion. But I do think that he attempts to be transparent. I do feel like as the season has progressed, that he's tried to really be honest and tackle things straight on. He's saying, hey, maybe our guys get a little worn out, which could be a part of it. And he talked about the fact that, you know, they go to press man a little bit on them and take that away from them. I don't know about that, because they haven't been throwing the ball that much anyway and throwing the ball downfield. So I don't know what any kind of secondary coverage would do to change the outcome of the game. And then he said, well, that's just where we're at. So there you go. Any other comments you want to have, Lauren, on that? All right, so we're going to keep on moving because we're behind. We started a few minutes late. So as you see scrolling across the bottom, we want you guys to join the show. There's a link that's pinned in the comments. If you don't see it, you just scroll up, and you are more than welcome to join the show, ask your question, and or say your vent. We love to hear from you. So we're going to start going through these comments. Allie, I always got to say what's up to you. Appreciate you tuning in.
What's up, Ollie?
Anthony, I know you're trying to get on. I sent you a link to test your camera. I'm not sure what's going on with you, man. Would definitely love to have you on. Rude boy, newsflash. Hey, there's people wearing short shirts at Charlotte Hornets games to fire Matt Rhule. So we'll see, even though it doesn't look like that's going to happen this year. KPM, New Year, same poor old Panthers. Brad Holt, what's going on with you? Nice for you to join. Wife, if you're watching, which I think you're not because I think she's nursing, I need some water, please. Omar Tillman, Matt Rhule, teams get worse over time in the games and throughout the season. So that's right. Oh, look at this picture. Come on, Omar. I'm not going to let you do that the whole time I was going to answer your question. But, Matt Rhule's team this year with the Carolina Panthers is certainly a step back. But, I wouldn't say all of his teams do this because at Baylor, at Temple, that was not the case. At Baylor and Temple, he was improving each year, year one, year two. They were kind of incremental increases. They weren't like bad if you will. And then come the third season, they all had significant turnarounds and great seasons. So we're still hanging on a limb here, hoping that that's something that we will get to experience here in Carolina. Chris being late reminds me of how I was late for class in high school. How could you be late for class in high school?
I'm never late. Literally never. I'm still not in life, like to anything. Never late. I'm always on time or early.
Yes.
I guess that's the way my parents raised me. So.
Hey, encore to Mr. and Mrs. All right, here's a good one. We'll start to get into some questions here. Do you feel like Matt Rhule is capable of building the O-line in the draft? Do I feel like he's capable?
I don't think you can do it in one sitting. Like, it's going to take time. You can't just draft a whole new O-line in the draft. I feel like he definitely has the opportunity to get some weapons, potentially that could make our offensive line a lot stronger than it is, because right now we're struggling. At this point, we can really take anything to help get us better and make us better. But I don't think he's capable of building the whole line and just within this draft, if that's what you're saying, which you're probably not, but I think it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, and in terms of if you're asking that question from the standpoint of talent evaluation, I feel like he could have a chance. Obviously they missed with the free agency, and then the draft is still kind of a hit or miss. But I feel like if you start early, using some of those early round draft picks, that you do have a little bit better chance of making sure that you're getting a guy that is good. And to Lauren's point, no, you're not going to be able to completely overhaul it. But in my opinion, if you're able to get, honestly, one good guy in the draft, an average guy in the free agency, you've just improved the line, because you only need 4 guys, right? Or is it 5? 5. I'm sorry. Please don't laugh at me. You only need 5 guys. We got Taylor Moton, at least 4. You get 2, you fix half of your line, more than half your line, which would be significant over what we've been getting from those guys up front right now. So the good thing is he certainly knows that he needs to address the offensive line. He said it. He knows that his job is on the line. So maybe, a little bit of pressure sometimes make people do better. We all famously remember Ron Rivera's time here in Charlotte. So we'll see. Omar, I'm not going to be able to show too many more of your comments, man, unless you get a new icon. I mean, we try to stay friendly around here. So love watching football, but not the Panthers. Let's see what Zai has to say. I have given up on my hope that Matt Rhule will be fired. The silver lining is that we will be able to get Bryce Young in 2023 because we will be picking number 1 if he's still here. So if Coach Matt Rhule has a bad season next year, he's not going to continue to be here. I can say that everybody can rest, can sleep well on that, right? Even if you don't want him back and say, okay, he's coming back and it's just going to be more continued badness. No, he's not going to continue to be here. He's not even, in my opinion, in my strong opinion, going to make it through the first quarter of the season if he is just doing terrible. So appreciate the comment, though, Zai, as always. We're both clearing our throats here, right? Let's see. So some people can't wait for Sunday to come so that the season can be over. Brad, I'm excited about the season being over myself because it's been tough. We are now have lost 6 games in a row. I used to be a little upset that we can't go into locker rooms. That's probably a good thing right now. My man Shaq Thompson was like, he came into the press conference yesterday with a little extra sauce that you knew was like irritant sauce. It wasn't happy sauce. And he was like, hell yeah, I'm mad. And we get paid to play. And if you don't want to play, then get out. He was, which you can understand. You could understand. So, going into the locker room, I can imagine he said, hey, Shaq, you want to talk? About what we got to beat? He probably would have talked, but, you would have to edit out that first and things like that. But I'm glad that we're about over. It's tough for Panthers fans. I know it has to be really tough because normally it's 16 games. We'd be done. This would be it. This would be our postseason recap super show. But no, we still have one more week to play. And maybe I can fortunately say it's a road game. So those who have tickets don't have to go and witness it in person. But I'm looking forward to seeing what this organization will do, understanding that there's a lot of pressure. I'm assuming that even though Tepper may allow Rhule to come back, it's not going to be, hey, just come back and try it again. No, I'm sure it's going to be a very stern professional conversation about what the expectations are and how they cannot continue as they are. But Brad, I appreciate your comment, and we'll keep on rolling through it. And Lauren, I know you're not going to talk much, but if you want to jump in at any point that I'm rolling through, just go ahead and do so. I have a feeling Matt Rhule is going to trade away all of our draft capital by trading for Watson to save his job. He will be desperate.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, definitely don't think or hope for things like that. What's going on, Rodney? Appreciate you tuning in. What's going on? Man, let's see. You want to say that name for me?
Sini,
Okay.
I think. Sini. Yeah. I would say, or Shawnee. It could be Shawnee too. I would say Sini though. I'm not sure.
What do our cap space look like for 2022?
I think we're at like 28 million right now, but I'm not sure. It could be, or 22. I think it's 22 mil as of
Okay.
now. But I feel like I feel like they'll plan on letting a lot of guys go, which will clear up some space, to get us up towards like 40 mil would probably be a good standpoint, I guess. But I'm pretty sure it's 22. But don't quote me.
Okay. Hey, appreciate you, because I would say tune in next week where I'll be able to answer that question. Thank you, Miss Lauren. Locks Main says there she is.
What's up,
Rodney
Locks?
says there she. Hey, Lauren.
Hey, Rodney.
Edward says welcome. I'm sure they're talking to
Hello.
you, not to me. Keep it on going. Brady Christensen 10X. I'm not sure what that comment is about.
Like you like him? You want him? I don't know.
10 and 22. I think that's in reference to Matt Rhule's
Matt Rhule's.
record. 10 and 22 in 2 years. And
Ugh, that doesn't sound nice.
yeah, it's tough. It's tough. All right, thoughts on John Miller's statement on the sacks given up yesterday?
To me, it's like you have to put yourself in the shoes of these guys. They have lost how many games? 6 games now? 6 in a row?
Yeah, 6 in a row.
6 in a row. Like you're coming straight out of a loss, like a game that you had the potential of winning. Like the defense did really well, the offense struggled. You have to like try to put yourself in their shoes. Like I understand, like he kept saying, this is the NFL, like this is the NFL. But like these guys are so mad and so angry. Like they do, as much as you get frustrated with them and like think that you want to say that they suck or whatever, like they did make it to the league. Like they do have potential and they are struggling now. But I really feel for the guys like in the press conferences, because if you've ever played sports or like been a competitor like me my whole life, if I ever lost, I was so angry, so mad. Like you did not want to talk to me. So if I was a professional athlete and I knew that I had to go into a press conference and talk, like I feel like a lot of the things that they say, they probably don't really mean. And it's just more so of like anger, or sometimes guys aren't good at talking publicly. So like it could be nerves. So like, I know a lot of people were really upset with what John Miller said. And then he was like, next question, like he got agitated. And then he kept saying, this is the NFL, like sacks are going to happen. Like it's the league. And like, to some extent he is right. But like, he's not going to go and say like, yeah, like we suck. Like we did terrible. He's not going to do that. Like no one would do that. Like to swallow your pride and just be like, we're terrible. Like you just don't want to do that. Like that makes you feel so bad. So I feel like he was just trying to like cover himself and cover the offensive line, because obviously he knows they didn't do good. Like he's not dumb. He played in the game. He saw what happened. He watched the same game. He played in the same game we watched. So I don't want to like criticize him in any way. I did listen to his press conference and listen to what he said, and like I understand your frustration, but you got to give these guys some credit. They're just as upset, if not more, than we are as fans because they're losing and they're getting paid to play football. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, very very well said, Lauren. And Coach was asked about that, and he said, pretty much what you said. Hey, sometimes after a game, these guys get put in the crosshairs immediately afterwards, not having more than 15 to 20 minutes to get it out, and they still could be pissed. I mean, I know there's been numerous times in the past where after a loss, you go into the locker room and the guy's still sitting there in his pads, full gear, back to everybody just sitting at his locker, and most of the guys are leaving. So I don't think John Miller meant it for what was said, and yeah, he was pissed because another question, he was like, next question, and understandably there was no further questions from any of the media because we're all like, well, you poked the bear enough, and now the bear's ready to fight. So, let's save the fight for another day when you need to ask some more questions. But appreciate you, KPM, with the great question. And so far, we're doing. I'm just going to be honest here, guys. I'm disappointed with the people joining the show. I mean, I know we're losing, but Lauren and I are here for you to want to hear some questions. Nobody. Hey, we see. I can't talk, but you know what I want to say. You see our faces. Join us. We like to meet you. We like to talk. Yeah. Do that again, Lauren.
KPM usually always joins.
Yeah, he does. Let's get on here. Let's keep going. Hey, you want to quickly talk about this?
Don't give you do not want to get me started on Antonio Brown. You do not want to get me started on Antonio Brown. That is all I'm going to say. I will say that for the people that are claiming CT, and don't get me wrong, that is a huge issue in the NFL, and like it's awful, and it's something that needs to be discussed and talked about more. But Antonio Brown has acted like this since before he was ever in the NFL, since he was in college. Like I just get so frustrated, and like I'm sure he does have some mental health problems, like that's evident, and he does need to get help for that. But like you can't excuse his behavior for before he was even in the league. Like he's been acting like this throughout his whole career. It's almost as like this entitled, and you can come at me if you want, but it's almost as if it's like this entitled, I'm better than everyone else. I deserve to be put on a pedestal and treated like I'm God, literally. And if I'm not treated that way, I'm going to act however I want. And that's how he's always acted, and that's his attitude. So don't get me started on Antonio Brown. Not even going to discuss him in any other way because I'm so furious. And anytime something happens with Antonio Brown in the news, and I'm like, could have told you that one was coming. Like, I'm not surprised at all, but that's just a topic that gets me heated, and I don't want to go there right now.
So what I'll add to that is, for me, I don't like how in the NFL that it's like if you send a guy to another team, he like gets cleansed, right? So it's like a guy could do something bad off the field, and it's like this organization does not stand for it, and they let him go. And it's like, give him a week. Definitely if you give him more time. Like he goes to another team, it's like the issue doesn't follow him anymore. It's like they stop talking about it, and he's a new person, and you get to do it again. And for me, when Antonio Brown went live on Instagram, and I forget exactly, but I think it was his children's mother was coming to pick up the kids,
mother, yes.
And then the police were out there, and he was just cursing up a storm, acting ignorant to the police. And a lot of times you just hear about that stuff, right? But this guy broadcast himself acting a total, I don't know what to call it. I don't want to say the wrong words, but acting not proper. And
in
you
front of
still
his children.
Yeah, in front of his children, and then you trust him to come on your team and do well. He went to the Patriots, didn't. He went to the Raiders, didn't, and now he's with the Bucks. Bucks gave him several chances. Why are you doing this? So, yeah, I've never seen anything like that. I sure hope that he doesn't get another chance because I feel like he needs to spend some time away from football to get together. And at his age, I feel like once he spends the time doing that, then it might be time to call the career over. He's made plenty of money. He doesn't have to play.
No.
Continue to work on yourself, and hopefully we will never ever see a moment like that here in Charlotte. Even though it'd be good for media, but I don't want to see it. So there's our talk on the Antonio Brown. Rodney asking about. Sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once. Why can't you make adjustments in the second half to score points? So Rodney, you know, you want to be careful at times that you choose to beat up the coach. And at this point, it's week 17. So I just wanted to ask that question because I wanted to. Uh-oh, I think I got water coming. I got water. Oh, she's the best. Look, I got water. And she was nursing. So you guys know I got to get off on time because I got to do daddy duties for sure. That mama just in the middle of nursing brings me some water upstairs. So I appreciate it. Love her so much. But I asked him that question because I do want to talk at length about a concern that I have with Matt Rhule, and I don't want to get into it too much now. With him having a future with us, it looks like that's going to happen. There's still, like, we talk about the quarterbacks and we talk about the O-line. But for me, I want to talk a little bit more because there's more than one thing that needs to be fixed. It's not just one thing and this team's going to be great. But I definitely want to point out how just terrible this team is in the second half and what I think that means and how that is extremely important to get that fixed. 0 points, two second halves in a row is just awful. But continuing on. Yeah, Edward Moore, I was kind of thrown off when Coach said that he couldn't hear me. And, you know, I love sharing behind the scenes. So yesterday, everything was completely virtual. So I was happy because I didn't travel to New Orleans. And I'm wanting to ask, I think it was, our running back. Come on, I'm having a brain fart. Our running back. Who's our running back? Come on, Lauren. I can't even hear you, Lauren. You're on mute.
I know. I muted myself because I muted myself because I have a cough drop in and I'm coughing, so I don't want everybody to listen to me chewing on my cough drop.
All right. Well, who's our running back? Chuba.
That's literally what. Did I not say that? Oh, you didn't hear me.
You were muted.
I was literally like, am I tripping? Like, did I say the wrong name? Like,
and you can go back to being muted. But anyway, we're virtual. I wanted to ask a question of Chuba. Waited my turn. They're like, Chris, go ahead. And I'm talking, and my mic wasn't working. So I ended up having to get off, and he was gone before I got back on. Mm-hmm. So today when Coach was talking, and he was saying, like, Chris, I can't hear you. I was like, my mic's here. I was like, literally just did this and started talking extremely loud. But his speaker in that press conference was too low to hear the reporter. So somebody else, he did that again. And he asked him to, hit him with the little Jay-Z, turn my mic up, can you hear? He had him turn his mic up, and he was good to hear. So anyway, Saints defense was on the field just as much as the Panthers, but their defense didn't wear down. I think this comment is just about Coach Rhule talking about in the second half, maybe their guys are getting worn down a little bit. That could be it, but I think, as you're saying, everybody's worn down. And I think the issue is a much bigger issue. And again, we'll be talking about it shortly here. You guys are talking about, I'm assuming the draft, because I don't know these guys. So look forward to another show coming. See, my man KPM has proven that the video chat works. So I'm going to get to you here in a second, KPM, stand by. But please join us. Ask us a question like KPM is going to do. Vent, tell us that you hate Matt Rhule or you love Matt Rhule. You like me, you like Lauren, you like the show. We want to hear from you.
I know Linderbaum. I know he's from, I'm pretty sure he goes to Iowa, and I think he's a center, so.
Okay.
But I don't know. Let's see.
Malcolm says we're still garbage. What is an Obama phone? Locks, you got to come on. I don't think we've ever seen Locks, right?
No, we don't know what you look like.
Locks,
so please show your face.
We're gonna start a GoFundMe account to get you a phone. We're gonna send it to you, and we want you to come on our show because
he says Anthony has one. Like it doesn't work because Anthony was trying to join and it's not letting him.
Brad, I don't know what this one means. One more second, KPM. We're gonna bring you on.
Hey, KPM.
Let's see here. Let's do our job here. Lauren. Sorry I'm late. Had to go see the wife in the hospital or I'd be in trouble. Did I miss Lauren cussing Matt Rhule out for you yesterday. Hey, Felix, appreciate you joining. Hope everything is well with the wife. And no, Lauren did no cussing, fussing, of Matt Rhule yesterday.
No. I've never really been that hard on Matt Rhule. Now I think I said I came on yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, pregame and just said I understand everyone's frustrations and I try to stick by him as long as I could. But I guess we're just gonna have to see how the start of the next season goes, and we'll see what happens from there.
You ready, KPM? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready, and you can hear me. Oh, he gave me the thumbs up. All right, let's see if I can hit these buttons correctly.
Hey.
Looks like I'm doing so.
What's up,
KPM.
Chris?
How you doing?
For the record, Chris, yesterday when you were asking about the statistic that we dropped the most in, that was 100% from here.
You weren't Googling on that one?
No, I was not. I gave you
appreciate
like
it.
the instant response, so.
You did. It was
Yeah.
pretty instantaneous. I'll give you that.
Anyways, I want to talk about a topic that might be slightly controversial.
Ooh.
So you remember Joe Persons dropped an article in The Athletic discussing Matt Rhule's tenure, calling the culture volatile, talking about what he said to the players, and he can go different places and get more money, but he prefers to stay in Charlotte. So my question is to you is how exactly does this affect Coach Rhule? Does it ruin his relationship with the players at all? And could this possibly shorten his tenure in Charlotte?
All right. Appreciate it, KPM. I don't think that's too big of a controversial question. We're going to go ahead and tackle it. You ready, Lauren? I'll go first since he addressed
Yeah,
it to
because
me.
he asked you. Yeah.
So I think the first question was players seeing that article and how they may feel about it. I think if I paraphrase it, that's correct. Would you say that's right, Lauren?
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing. So what Joe Person reported on is something that players already know long before a journalist like Joe, and he's a great journalist, gets a chance to put that together, okay? So they've already heard the comment about him could take the higher paying job in college. And if there's any dissension in that locker room, they already know it. So I don't feel like it would change anything that's already existing in that locker room, whatever that may be. So if there's like 5% of guys that don't like him, it's still the same 5% that's before. If it was more, nothing's changed in terms of this article coming out and players being like, oh, I don't like this guy. I think that's what your question was, because they already know what's going on, and we go to those guys to get information. Now, I thought you were going to ask if it affect Joe Person's ability to continue to be credentialed, if people would hate him. I think that's a more interesting question, and it should not, because he's doing his job of just reporting. He didn't really say anything about what his opinion was. He just reported on facts. So he did a good job there. And then lastly, in terms of his future, again, everybody that's in the front office, David Tepper, coaches, players, staff, they already knew everything that's going on. Tepper already knew how he felt because Tepper said what he said. So it does not change anything within the organization at all. To me, like not 1% of that makes anybody at that organization like have a new feeling. Those guys already have their feelings because they've been living it. Joe just reported. The big thing that comes from it is that fans got a chance to know more about what was going on, and fans will have a chance to get more enthralled in saying, I don't like Matt Rhule, and oh, some things are out of sync. And I really don't at all want to take away from that article because it was a really, really good article. If you're a beat writer, which is a person that's there covering team a lot, then you already had most of those feelings known about things that were going on. You just didn't have it in writing, as you saw from what Joe did. So that's my take on it. Anthony, I see that you keep trying to join, man, and I wish I could show you guys a screenshot. I see your name, I see the box, and it's blank. So I can't bring you on. Even
I was
if
gonna say you could let him. Will his audio work?
No, I
If
can't
you-
even I can try to add him. Watch, I'm gonna try to add him, and he's still not even gonna come up. It's just gonna circle. I don't know if you guys can see like the
yeah,
circle.
I see it.
So Anthony, it's not that I don't love you, but you know, in my Locks main voice, you might want to go to the library or something, someplace, and get you on. I sent you the link to see if that would help you get on, and you know, still definitely would love to get you on. Let's see. Let me go back to my comments here. How do you feel about the GOAT, Brady Christensen?
I think calling him the GOAT is definitely a stretch, but I think he has potential to be great.
You do? You can say more because I don't have anything to say on him. I'll be honest.
No, I just think he has potential. I mean, he's young. He has talent. That's evident. And I feel like give him a couple seasons and he'll be really, really good. But that's my opinion.
Hey,
I definitely
love
wouldn't go far saying he's the GOAT.
Hey, I like this comment right here. And she just does it again. Rudeness, man. Rudeness.
You have water.
I do. I have water now. Chris, can you get yourself some water if you're uncomfortable? I was about to hit you guys with this right here. I'm not going to do it, but I was about to say, hey, I'll be right back. But I didn't do it. I stayed here. I stayed with it. I want to be here. Hey, so here's my plug. For me, staying and fighting through the needing of water, please like the video. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the video. Help us get to 5,000 subscribers. It helps Lauren and I continue to do what we love to do, is work for you guys. Helps us get, the bigger we get, the more that we can get players and coaches and all these things going on behind the scenes that you don't need to understand. It's just what I like to do and make it happen for you, okay? So let's go ahead and let's see what we got, about 15 minutes. We're doing good on time, I guess. Uh-oh, remember these? We need big corn-fed hog mollies on that O-line. That's the Dave Gettleman used to call them hog mollies. Man, I used to love when he would come to the press conferences because he'd just kind of have we're just sitting out on the front porch talking kind of thing and had that New York accent. It was pretty cool. How many games we win the next season? Ice up Sunny. I love the question. Would invite you all to again join us, ask your question, vent. I cannot at all begin to predict anything for next season because there are so many pieces of that puzzle that needs to be put together. So many pieces that are going to move. New offensive coordinator, new O-line, draft.
Yep.
What quarterback's going to stay, what free agents are going to stay. It is just way too much. All right. So
I'll get you an answer after training camp.
man, Lauren, she's on it. Appreciate it. How long is it going to take to begin competition? I'm not sure of that question. Do you know? All right, we'll keep on moving. If you can, Leroy, please restate that question and we'll love to get to it. Going through some more comments here. Oh.
Thank you. Hey, Anthony, what's up? I'm doing all right.
No, we have not heard anything on JC's recovery. Hey, Chris, you think Nixon comes back as offensive coordinator? I think he will not come back as offensive coordinator. He still struggled. You know, he still has not fixed the problem with the second half scoring. So, no. But what I do like, I feel like the guy's pretty good at scripting the start of a game. I don't know if you've been watching, but I asked Coach a couple of weeks ago, do they script their plays? And he said yes. And he said it's so short because I wanted to ask him, well, how many plays? I know some teams may do 10, but so I didn't ask him how many, but he said that they do script their first plays. And I always feel like our first series in a game is really solid. It's really solid. So he certainly has an ability to plan some things, but not really finish them out well enough. So I think he'll just put him back. He was running backs coach, is that right? And stay in that role before he goes to being offensive coordinator. Now that we know that we have what we have with Sam, can we end the experiment and give Cam a freaking off season? So here is my opinion, and you don't have to agree with it all in reference to this. Cam Newton was just borrowed goods. A lot of fans, it's like a lot of people love Cam and a lot of people hate Cam. And Felix, I'm guessing you're a Cam Newton fan because a lot of those guys and women want to see him continue to play. And I understand like the emotional one to continue to see him play. He's done so much. He's took us to Super Bowls. He's done the dab. He's made Charlotte and Carolina like relevant so many times. But his best days are definitely beyond him. And the fact that we're trying to build something that's going to be good for like a while. And I know we haven't been successful at it. We've been pretty bad with the quarterbacks. But bringing Cam back, and getting rid of Sam, number one, that's extremely expensive to do so. I mean, we brought him in this year because we just had to, and I don't think people are going to give the Carolina Panthers organization enough credit for this. And I'm gonna say it one more time. I don't think you guys are giving the Carolina Panthers organization enough credit, because right now we're seeing 6 straight losses. But what we're forgetting about is November 12th-ish, Sam Darnold's out. PJ Walker is, all right, we're going to try to see what we got. And they actually went and did something that was a really big stretch, and what is obviously a really big deal, and saying, okay, we really want to get this turned around kind of now if we can. And they brought in Cam Newton in a really big effort to do that. And it didn't work. So that takes a lot, and the owner was involved in that. So it takes a lot of, I want to win to do that. And it didn't work out. So now we got to do something else. So I get that we can forget about it with all the other problems going on, but we don't need to see Cam forced to come back and be on this team, because it's just not the longer term solution that we want. And Cam he has some problems that he needs to work on in his passing game that, I feel like we don't have to have him back for that. Yes, he can still run, but to me, please go back and look at it. That run that he had yesterday, it didn't look like a smooth Cam Newton run. To me, it looked a little ginger with the one run that he had yesterday. So, man, I'm talking a lot, and I see that we got 10 minutes to go here. So I'm going to create a poll here on Facebook side. Lauren, you can talk for a second, because I'm going to be doing 2 things at once.
All right, I'm trying to catch up on the comments.
Gotcha.
Let's see, Chris have the link. Oh, where were you? Oh, yeah, after Felix. Anthony said, hello, Chris. The link you sent me is not working. Leroy, Chris, have a great offseason. I have been a loyal guy to the show. Thank you, Leroy. We appreciate you. Zai says, Matt Rhule scapegoated Joe Brady, and our offense is worse than it was with him. That's definitely a valid point to think that Joe Brady was a scapegoat, but the offense has still been struggling. So, Eyes Up Sunny says JC's having 19 interceptions next season. That's a lot. So if he does that, that'd be insane. Let's see.
Did you scroll down a lot?
No, I went right after. I think you did Felix, right? Yeah, I went right after Felix Graham.
All right. Well, here's a question for you, Lauren.
I think maybe. Shoot.
That's all right. We'll make it through. What's Lauren's opinion about Cam Newton's future in Charlotte?
I said this before, but if you haven't heard me say it, I do not think that Cam is the future for the Panthers. I have to piggyback off of what Chris said, because I totally agree with it, by saying that people in the Carolinas love Cam Newton for what he did for this organization. Like, he took you guys to a Super Bowl. He did all these great things. He was such a huge name, not only in Charlotte, but all throughout the Carolinas, and everyone loved him so much. And I feel like people still have those emotions and those feelings, and they're letting that kind of dictate where they want his future to go, and not sort of thinking like, hey, let's be realistic. Cam's been in the league for a really long time. He's not the Cam Newton that he was when he first entered the league. He's not the Cam Newton that led us to a Super Bowl. He's still great. He still has a lot of talent. I just don't see him continuing to be that guy here in Carolina. I just don't see it. And I feel like they might be better off bringing in I hate saying a younger quarterback, because it's really hard to see these guys succeed right out of the league. Right out of college going into the league. But I don't think he is going to have a future here in Charlotte anymore. And it sucks to say that, but it's just going on like facts and where he's at in his career right now. And I don't think that by any means, he's not awful or he's not bad. I think he's still great and he has a lot of talent still, but I just don't see him being the guy in Carolina.
Yeah, and here's one thing, and I know you can defend this, and I say you as in Cam Newton supporters, and I'm not either a supporter or a hater. I'm just being a journalist reporting.
Yep, exactly.
Cam Newton's record is pretty bad. I don't know how far it goes back. I would say he's, 0-4, 0-3 or something this season. And I would like to think that he's probably lost near 10 games in a row. And again, I'm just going
I think it's
very
11.
off the top of my head, but none of that is good. that's not a reason to say I need to have a guy back. And yeah, you can say Sam Darnold's not much better, but his record is better as a starter over the last 10 games or even just this season because he has at least won 3 games and Cam Newton has not won any. And they both have had the same personnel up front blocking for them. So, yeah, let's continue to go through this. And some people are getting mad at us about the comments. So, hey, we got a lot of comments coming through. We do try to get to everyone. Certainly could say if we miss a comment, you're welcome to type it again. But we also simply cannot get to all of them sometimes. So apologies if we don't get to you. I think Trill was talking about something. It might have been a joke, but nevertheless, just want to put that out there.
Anthony says he would like to meet us one day at the stadium. He's a huge Panthers fan. Oh, hope to meet you too.
Hey, get Anthony on because you're a good guy, Chris. Yeah, I only got one more week I can play my famous Cam Newton clip. And Mike can, I was hoping Matt Rhule would have kind of gave me a clip, but he just said, I can't hear you, Chris. So maybe, I don't know how I can flip that into something in the future. But anyway. Just going through some more of these comments.
Let's see. Trill said that was
Panther
a slick
Pickle,
way.
do you think John Miller will be active this Sunday? Yeah, his comments yesterday does not
Definitely, he will
change
be.
anything about
No.
his position on this team and what they're doing. So, again, fans don't like what he said, but given the context Lauren and I talked about earlier, may help you understand why he will still be starting this week. Do you think Tepper or Fitterer's push for a veteran offensive coordinator? I certainly hope so. Certainly hope so. We don't need any more college guys with no NFL experience. I really hope, Matt Rhule is going to give us a chance to really, really see quickly how much he has learned from his first 2 years of coaching in the NFL. And so typically we have a chance to sit down with the coach at the end of the season. That's something I want to ask him about is what has he learned in these 2 years? And I'm hoping that he's very upfront about it because I think that he should have learned that he needs to have a little bit more balance between some of the new college guys that he may believe in, but just having some veterans in there because there's nothing like, there's nothing like grandma, grandpa in life to give you some wisdom that, you just may not have seen. So hopefully that will certainly happen. Continue to move through a few of these questions here.
Where are you at? Why does Deontay Brown still get no reps? Shouldn't a team with the lost season prioritize giving the? So I think there is a little bit more about Deontay Brown that we don't know about as people from the outside. But I can say that I think that he is not performing as well as he probably should be at practice. That's what I'm going to say, is that there wouldn't be a reason as if our offensive line was doing so bad for them not to give him a chance. So that's what I'm going to say.
Next year's schedule is rough. Buckle up, folks. Again, another plug here. Subscribe, turn on the bell notifications because I will be talking about next year's opponents that we have and going through that a little bit. So appreciate the comment.
Lauren's the GOAT. Thanks, Sonny. Time to move on from Cam Newton to side.
Sizzle God, many people don't speak about the Dan Arnold trade. He and Sam looked like they had solid chemistry to start the season.
I think so too.
Go ahead,
I think
Lauren.
so too. No, I've thought so too. I don't understand why they did that. But what am I? What do I know? But I agree. I don't think we should have got rid of him. I thought they had a connection too.
Yeah, and our tight ends since then have not shown. Even though I will say this, do I still have the graphic? Let's see if I bet you I deleted the graphic. I do still have the graphic. Let's see. Give me a second while I go through a few of these to see which graphic it is. Let me come back here. So, before you talk about Dan Arnold, I think we're not missing him. Who was our leading receiver yesterday, Lauren? Can you see the screen?
Ian Thomas.
Yes. How many catches?
He had, wait, 3?
There you go. 3 catches, 33
33
yards,
yards,
3
3
targets.
targets.
Hey, we're not missing Dan. We got this. Ian Thomas is stepping up. I like Ian too, but yeah, we're missing some productivity from that tight end position in terms of catching.
Mm-hmm.
What are we down to? Ooh, we're down to our final minute here.
Oh, Anthony,
KPM
too
wanted
bad
to
you
come
can't
back.
get on the show. I feel bad Anthony can't get on. He's so nice. Hello, Chris and Lauren. God bless you and love both. We love you too, Anthony.
Hey, let me see if I can look at this. So JPM, I mean JPM, KPM, I will
KPM.
bring you back on. I'll let you end us out. But so far, and if you're not watching on YouTube, I always say YouTube is the best place because we do a lot of our interactivity from there with polls and pinned comments and other things that you can't see from Twitter or Facebook. But if you just want to watch, Twitter and Facebook, we simulcast. Actually, I guess, yeah, to those platforms as well. But I put a question out there. Do you think we should continue the Monday show during the off season? I got 100% said yes. So I'm going to give you my wife's email address so we guys can join in and help me convince her to let me continue to step away from our 3-month-old and do these shows throughout the summer. But KPM, you ready? You're probably
Yes,
ready.
sir.
I don't even have to ask you if you're ready.
Yes, you don't have to.
Let's end the show with a bang. What do you got for us?
Okay, so this isn't a Panthers related comment, but first things first, do not grasp straws by saying that stuff about Ian Thomas. Okay,
Why not?
we're not looking for moral victories here. We're looking for actual wins.
Our guys played hard yesterday, KPM. What are you upset about?
We played hard.
They played hard. Guys played that didn't have to. Shaq Thompson, he has no incentive to come out there tomorrow or yesterday. He's a veteran. By the way, for those who don't know, that was
Matt
the words
Rhule
of
said
Coach
that.
Rhule today, talking a little bit about his team. But go ahead, KPM. I'm sorry.
This isn't Panthers related, but it's more of a related topic towards y'all. So, is there a notable difference as the season goes on? Like, what's the difference between now than it was at the beginning of the season? I'm not sure how to describe this, but as a media reporter, do you get more content like out of a loss per se over a win? I don't want to sound disrespectful at all, but
No. I would say it's definitely better when we win, but I also feel like it's a struggle to get kind of people to communicate and engage and talk when we're losing, because who wants to talk? Like, of course, like people, I guess I don't want to say people enjoy complaining, but people do love to vent and get their emotions out. But it seems to me as if people don't really want to talk and people don't really want to watch and people don't really want to engage in anything Panthers related when we're losing. So I would definitely say that it's much better and we are able to get better content when we're winning. And I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. I guess Chris can give you his opinion, but I definitely think it's a lot better when we're winning. And I mean, I'm not just saying that from a standpoint of I want us to win, because obviously I do, but from like a media journalist standpoint, I definitely think it's a lot easier and definitely much more exciting when we're winning.
Give me 1 second. I'm multitasking. It'll be just a quick second. So, you probably can't hear me. I'm sorry.
No, we can hear you.
Oh, you could. Oh, good. Good thing I didn't curse. I don't curse. So
I was going to say, I've never heard you say a cuss word ever.
No, yeah, it's very hard to hear me say a curse word ever. I mean, the world is probably about to end when I start cursing. But that's a good question, KPM, and I love to give people some insight on what it's like being a journalist covering the NFL team. I don't attempt to hide how fun and great and exciting it is with this career. When they first start losing, when they lose 1 or 2 games, it's actually pretty tough because, it's like the first moments of defeat and guys really aren't saying anything. And it's kind of like as a reporter, you have to learn to not emotionally have that down from them losing. But usually guys aren't really saying much when they first start losing, and you don't have too many storylines to grab. But at this point, since they have lost so many games in a row, then it starts turning to trying to figure out all the things that are wrong and figure out what the future is going to be about. And at this point, with, the coach being in his second year, will he get another contract or not? That's something to continue to talk about and want to find. And now you almost more so go into being an investigative reporter, because you're trying to find things about what's going to happen in the future than just generally reporting on what's going on. But still, out of all of them, much, 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 much better when they're winning because guys will talk to you. Guys will talk to you at length. You'll get lots of information. You say, hey, Cam Newton, I want to interview you tomorrow at such and such. Oh, yeah, sure. It's everybody's just in a better mood, and it makes it a lot easier to get lots of great content. So appreciate the question.
All right. Well,
Thanks,
before I go out, I just want to say one more thing. You're a good guy, Chris. You're a good guy.
You a good guy, Chris.
You a good guy, Chris. You a good guy. I'm just playing. Look.
I was gonna say I think I do the best impression of Cam.
Do you?
You a good guy, Chris. You a good guy.
You gotta get a real. Let me see your smile. I don't see. Let me see your smile.
You a good guy, Chris. You a good guy.
All right. So hey, there's two more comments that I bookmarked, and I'm gonna end on these. All right. I'm gonna let you read this first one, Lauren.
Okay, Lauren, please. You know a lot. I think. Are you telling me I know a lot? Thanks.
Yeah, they're giving you props. All right. Here's the very last one. Super Treybo. Is that Trey Boston?
Treybo.
Trey Boston? He in the building? All right. How's it going, guys? It's going good. How's it going, Lauren?
It's going.
She's making it.
Hanging in
Do
there.
you guys think next season Matt Rhule has no choice but to make playoffs? I don't know how good the mic is. If it's really good and you heard me burp, I'm sorry. But do you think that Matt Rhule has no choice but to make the playoffs or win the division to keep his job?
I wouldn't say that. I would just say to have. Of course, that's the ultimate goal, and that's what they would want him to do. That's what they brought him here to do. They'd hope he'd make the playoffs and potentially maybe in the future win the division. But I don't think that's necessarily what's gonna control or maybe choose his path. I just think that he has to improve from last season, and it's gonna have to be drastically improved. Not just win a couple games more and then he's gonna get the pass. I don't know. I just think if he has a successful season and wins more games than he did this year and proves to actually start to turn things around, and not just we have to trust on the process. We have to kind of wait, especially from a fan standpoint. You guys have to kind of just believe in the process and trust in the process. So, eventually we're going to get there. We're going to be where we want to be. From an owner and a GM standpoint, I feel like them looking at him saying all those things, it's great and dandy, but they need to see him win. They need to see him succeed. They need to see him do much better than he did this season and the past season before. So I don't know if that really answered that, but that's how I feel on it. And I feel like if he improves from this season and the previous season, then he could potentially have his job. But I think he's going to have to start off the season incredibly strong in order to hold that job.
All right. So Lauren, here's my question to you about what you just said. So you're saying if the Panthers go, I got to do the math because we have 17 games now, 6-11, that Rhule gets to keep his job? Are you saying
let me say.
And 10?
Let me say this. Actually, I think then he might actually keep his job. However, but if
at 7-10 or 6-11?
No. If we only win 6 games and we lose 11, then it's bad. But I feel like that's right on the cusp of you clearly improved from last season. It's still not great, but it's better. And I feel like if he starts out the season strong with a bunch of wins, that that's going to give him some cushion and let him hold on to his job a little bit longer. But I really want to see how the first 3 games go, and then I'll give you an updated opinion. I do think of course he needs to make the playoffs. We should be making the playoffs. With the people that we have, aside from the offensive line, we do need to improve there. But we have such a strong defense. We easily have the potential to make the playoffs. And that's what's so disheartening, I know, to a lot of fans too, is because we have people, we can be great. It's just we're missing some parts, and a huge part of it is the offensive line, and obviously the quarterback position too. So once we figure out the offense, we are solid. So I feel like if in this offseason, if we are able to improve this offensive line and get some good O-line guys and maybe figure out the quarterback situation. I know Sam's going to be coming back, so like maybe if he gets a stronger offensive line, he'll be able to perform better, which I do think to a certain degree that will happen. I'm not saying I think Sam Darnold's amazing, and I'm not saying I think Sam Darnold's great, but I feel like if he had a stronger O-line, he could definitely be better than what we've seen this year. So with that being said, I'm going to go out on saying, again, like I said yesterday pregame, fingers crossed, prayers said, we can strengthen this O-line, because if we can do that, we can make the playoffs, and we can potentially make it a lot farther than just that. So mic drop. Here we go.
So your final answer is yes?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's hard for me. I will say he does need to. I don't want to say like he has to. He just needs to improve and show that this team is going in a different direction. And if we have a stronger O-line and we're not looking like we did yesterday, where the offensive line just like dropped the freaking ball, literally dropped the ball. The defense is so good, and the offense is like, we're dropping the ball in this one. Like, so I'm just going to say I don't really have a specific answer for you. I do think that this team needs to turn it around, and they need to do much better than they've done the past 2 seasons. But if he starts out the season strong, I feel like they will give him a chance. They will be more lenient because he is showing improvement. So that's my answer. I don't think he has no choice but to make the playoffs, but it would help his case and definitely could save his job. So you can take that with what it is.
So I don't think he
Time to
has.
call.
Yeah, I'm going to call, but you guys are going to hear it. So I don't think that he has to make the playoffs to keep his job. But because here's what could happen. I do feel like, I'm willing to say that he needs to get 10 wins. He needs to, right now we have 5. Last year we had 5. If we get 10 wins, we are 10-7. So 10-7 does not guarantee that you're going to make the playoffs. But getting into double-digit victories, I think mentally it does a lot for people to say, hey, there's progress. 10-7, we're on the cusp. Next year we should make the playoffs. And if we're 9 and I'm trying to do the math all slowly in my head, 9-8, to me that's not good enough. To unless something like we were on it and then we had some critical injury that really just turned things around. I don't even know what that would be, but I really feel like 10 wins in lieu of making the playoffs or winning the division would be something good enough for Matt Rhule. Otherwise, we don't want mediocrity. If he goes less than that and he's 8, I can't remember all the numbers because I gotta do them backwards, but if he's less than that, then it's like we're mediocre. And at that point, as an owner, I can say, dude, I've been paying you almost $9 million a year, right? So I've been paying you like top 10 NFL coach, probably maybe even top 5. I know he's pretty up there in his salary, if not top 10, top 5 NFL coach in salary. And here you are, 32 teams? Is it 32 teams? And maybe you got me like, and I'm top 20? No, I want your pay to be the same as what my team is being ranked and finishing every year, which is a better record than that. So that's my opinion on that question. Hopefully you guys appreciate it. Lauren, we got to give Lauren a round of applause, or if you can't give her the applause, give her the like button, because I did not expect her to make it the entire show. Let's see, 1 hour and 4 minutes we've been on as she recovers from COVID. We're glad to see you continue to get better.
Thank you.
Hey, next week's show, I know you guys are always looking forward to each show. Next week, we have the legendary Carolina Panthers broadcaster, Mick Mixon, will be joining us next week as he retires from the Carolina Panthers, doing their play-by-play calling. So I think, hey, if you like good stories and like Mick's voice, get you some tea. I'll have my water for sure next week, and join us at 7 o'clock. Got the votes for saying that we should continue to do the show during the off season. So we will. I don't know if we're going to do every single week, but we'll certainly listen to you guys and do that. Lauren, any closing remarks? Any comments you see coming through that you want to say anything as we close out?
I closed my app. I'm exhausted. I'm going to head out. So love
deal.
y'all. Glad to see you or talk to you guys again, rather. And see you next week.
Hey, appreciate you for Chris Jenkins and Lauren I got to pause. Ruiz.
You get it so close. You say it right, and then you go back.
In my head, I'm thinking, okay, say it how you think it should be, which is Rez, and then I say flip it, Ruiz. But I didn't do it that time. For Chris and Lauren, Charlotte Vibe, thank you guys. Good night. We'll see you again shortly.